Que pasa, cabron? So you finally realized how toxic hookup culture is and how it's absolutely ruining everybody's lives. You're a man on self-improvement and you're ready to find your future wife, but you're scared because you've heard how easy it is to become complacent and fall off all the good habits that you just started and lose what actually made you attractive in the first place. Today, you're going to learn how to become a good guy who's good with women without ever losing your masculine edge. My name is Blake, and if you're not already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram, linked in the description below. First thing you're going to do is going to be kind of obvious, but it's just simply to become more attractive. When guys get into relationships and stuff, it's very easy to fall off in your self-improvement and kind of get back into the bad habits, but you need to never stop improving. Like in a relationship, you should be trying even harder to improve yourself, especially in terms of your attractiveness. Like a lot of people wait till they break up and like, oh, now that we broke up, now I'm gonna have this epic transformation and stuff, show her what she lost. But it's like, if you really loved her, then you would never stop improving yourself in the first place. You'd work even harder to become more attractive for her and stuff, so she really just falls deeply in love with you. And this is just going to be by focusing on factors that you can't control. You can't control your genetics, but you can control stuff like your physique, your clothes, your haircut, all sorts of different things like that. And this is not just with superficial things either. Like it's also going to be tied to things like how people react when you walk into a room, how people show you respect and stuff in conversation, and especially with your body language, because your body language, it shows a lot about you without you ever having to say a word. Like if you have a good physique, you're strong, you're confident, you're walking in, chest up, not head down and stuff like that, you're not afraid to make eye contact, you're gonna just come across way more attractive. And again, that's another factor that's in your control. Another thing you want to be doing is to be spontaneous. Yes, she's gonna want consistency and stability when it comes to a relationship, and yes, like always show her love, always be consistent with stuff like that, and consistent with your purpose and your mission. But you also need to be way more adventurous. She doesn't want you to be dating a robot or anything like that. She wants to be part of the fun. She wants to be part of like the journey that you're going on, like something crazy, like, oh, maybe you guys are going on a trip, maybe you guys are doing whatever it may be. She wants to be part of it. She wants to be part of the fun. She doesn't want to have to like plan everything herself. You know, this boring life where everything kind of constantly just routine, is the same thing every day, constantly 24/7. So what you need to do is just break out a routine and go do something, you know, crazy. Like well, I mean, it doesn't really have to be crazy. It can be big things, it can be small things. Like big things like going out and taking a trip, maybe going to another country and stuff like that. Or it can be small things like going and surprising her one day, or like just waking up and just being like, oh, hey, we're gonna go do this today, just randomly spontaneous, or just bringing her flowers randomly, keeping that kind of spontaneous feeling alive so she never really knows what today's adventure might bring. Another thing you need to make sure you're doing is spiking her emotions. A lot of guys get stuck in this Mr. Nice Guy syndrome where they just constantly seek to please her and constantly seek her approval, stepping on eggshells never to make her upset. But this is kind of the opposite of what you want to be doing. Women are human, obviously, and women feel a wide spectrum of emotions, probably even more so than men, especially very feminine women. So when you just constantly make her feel this one emotion, like every other guy, then she doesn't really get the kind of excitement, feelings that she gets like when you do things that, you know, spontaneous, like we just talked about. So you need to make sure that you're actually spiking each one of these emotions and not just trying to make her feel joy all the time. And you're going to be able to do this by actually being authentic with yourself, because like I said, you're human too. So you're not always going to be doing things that, you know, make her happy. Sometimes you're going to actually be human, you're going to make her upset, or maybe like you're messing around and you try to scare her a little bit, or maybe, I don't know, she makes you upset and you're not afraid to talk about it and stuff like that. And it's not just necessarily like, oh, make her happy or make her like feel negative emotions, because like I said, you can play with her like when you scare her a little bit, or make her excited when you do something spontaneous. It can be all sorts of different things, but you need to make sure you're just doing it by, you know, being authentic with yourself and not stepping on eggshells around her just to like make her feel happy all the time. You need to be okay with making her feel other things like anxious, scared, excited, you know, all sorts of different things. It's going to be positive, negative, neutral, kind of in a gray zone. It's going to be all sorts of different things, but that's going to what's going to create a deeper bond between you guys, because you're going to be actually being authentic and not just being this kind of like person that's just agreeing with her all the time, because you're not going to agree with her all the time. You're not going to like the same things all the time. And being authentic like that is how you show each other new things, and then that's how you find out new things that you like and stuff like that. Yeah, just making her feel the whole spectrum of emotions rather than just one single emotion is going to make her think about you a lot more, and you're just going to stay on her mind a lot more, which again is just going to create deeper attraction and make her fall deeper in love with you. And this next one is going to be especially helpful if you are starting a relationship or just got into a relationship with this girl, whatever it may be, or maybe even if you're a couple years into this relationship and this is a problem that you're just now realizing you have, And this is to never stop flirting. It's so easy to become depolarized and again, get trapped in the same routine where you guys just, maybe you live together and you just going through the same routines, doing house chores, holding laundry, and then sitting down watching a movie, not really going out and stuff like that. And that's just how you become depolarized and start to resent each other and start to become unattracted to each other. But the biggest thing that you need to do is to act like you're still trying to win her over. You're gonna be able to do this by doing things like randomly getting her flowers sometimes and being spontaneous with that, or actually like planning out dates and going out to nice places, not just hanging out, but like actually going out on an official date, like calling it a date and making it something special that you all will remember. Because the masculine leads the relationship. You need to be the one that's having the ideas, coming up with the plans, making all this sort of stuff happen, and just kind of like envisioning how you like want your all's lives to go and bringing the romance to the relationship. Because if you feel like it's kind of dead, depolarized and stuff like that, then that means it's your fault, and it's because you stop leading the relationship, you stop making plans to go on dates and stuff like that, and you stop flirting with her. You need to be messing with her, like kind of tease her around sometimes, make fun of her a little bit, and actually flirt with her, take her on dates, and make her feel like your woman, like your girlfriend, like the love of your life, rather than just a friend. And this last thing is probably the most important thing to getting that kind of player quality and having that edge while also being a good guy in your dating life. This is going to be to have standards for yourself. You need to become somebody that's worth respecting and admiring. If you don't know how to do that, real quick, imagine your dream girl. Right now, I'm imagining my girlfriend. Shout out to you, baby. But imagine your dream girl, and then once you have the picture of her in her mind, imagine the kind of guy that she's going to want to be with, and do the things necessary to become that man. It'll probably involve a lot of hard work and constantly improving yourself, but that's the kind of stuff that you need to do in order to become the man that's worth having her. Because if you want a girl that acts a certain way, looks a certain way, and does all this certain stuff, then you need to be a guy that also holds yourself to that standard and also does all of those things. Because a lot of guys will just kind of say, oh, like I want a girl who doesn't go out, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll just be a guy that goes out and plays video games all day and doesn't really have ambitions. But if you are that ambitious guy and stuff, then yes, you can hold yourself and your girl to that standard. You just need to make sure you're holding yourself to that standard too. I really believe when you're so focused on your purpose and your mission, and you really focus on making yourself into a man that's worthy of respect and admiration, then that's when you're going to start getting treated a lot better. I truly believe that that's the reason that my girl treats me so well, is because she knows that I like work so hard on the things that I want and work so hard to achieve all of my goals. And she's kind of like-minded, so it just naturally we click and we're polarized, and that kind of created the spark that made us love each other so much. And I really believe that's why she treats me so well. And this is another reason that a lot of guys shouldn't focus so much on, like, when you're on a date, if the girl likes you, she thinks you're funny and whatnot, if she thinks you're attractive, is because you also need to think about if you're actually attracted to her. Because there's so many people out in the world, you're not going to be attracted to every single girl you meet or every single girl you go on a date with, and they're not all going to be attracted to you. You need to actually search for compatibility, somebody that you can actually grow and build with, rather than just somebody to be with and worry so much about your ego because you're really curious if they like you or not. There's a quote in The Way of the Superior Man where it says, the whole point in intimacy is to be able to grow more than you could by yourself. If you're not both growing with each other, then you guys probably aren't compatible with each other. It should be a constant search for how you guys can both improve on your lives, and the other person should be helping you do that. The other person should be helping you strive towards your goals. Like, for instance, I make all these videos and my girl comments on all these videos. I had my first fight, she made me this poster, like stuff like that. I reciprocate that for all her stuff and all her goals. And that's the kind of stuff that you need to be looking for in a partner, somebody that where your lives just click together. The last thing about having standards for yourself is just make sure understand that your word is everything. When you say you're gonna do something, you go and do it. This is why I have like stuff like the goal board. I may not hit every single goal, but I will try my best. I will try my absolute hardest to make sure I'm doing it. Because if I said I'm going to do it, if I said I'm going to try, then I'm going to try. It's not about succeeding or failing. It's about trying to do what you said you're going to do. Or like if you're in a relationship, if you say that you're going to be in a relationship, a monogamous relationship, then you don't cheat. You don't talk to other girls. You stay loyal to your girl because you made that commitment and you're a man of your word. If this is something that you struggle with, then you can check out my Looks Maxing course in the description below, where I go over all the tactics I use to become the best version of myself possible. It includes bonus dating module, an aesthetic body program, social media module, stuff like that. So if you want to read about it, you can check it out in the link in the description below. With that being said, remember, be better than you were yesterday.